Yo, what's good? It's Skano. I seen a story recently that brought something to mind. Listen, we get so caught up in the rat race and the grind that sometimes we kind of lose focus on what's going on around us as far as our family and our kids. Um, okay, there was this story recently about a young man who flashed out, and I don't want to go too far into detail, just because of the details of the case, a real delicate type. You know, um, Flashed out, killed a family member. This happened locally in Cleveland, and people were trying to figure out because there was no known animosity, no known, beef between. I think it was a, 14-year-old end up killing uh, an uncle. It's like in his 30s. Okay, I had I would say it was more of a friend of my younger cousin. It wasn't in my friend's social circle. It's some years back. Um, but the dude was a well-mannered young dude. Got into normal trouble, but he was not a hellraiser. Wasn't in the streets like, he was just a regular kid, man. Got good grades, was in the church. Family kept him in the church because, family had a church background. And like I said, man, dude, just a good dude. Then one summer, just out the blue, man, it's just like dude just turned into someone else. He started exhibiting certain behaviors that were just totally out of his character. For instance, he had got arrested, and this started at when he was like 13, 14. And I think I was 16. I was a sophomore in high school at this time. So anyway, he got arrested for stealing. Then there was another incident where he was, took a dump on the in the shopping plaza right outside in a walkway. Purposely broad daylight. It wasn't like he was trying to hide. Just like fuck y'all. Dude wasn't on no type of drugs. Never got into stuff like, not to my knowledge. Uh, Fights, going to school, being disruptive, cussing out just a total flip flop in behavior. And I knew the dude. Like I said, he wasn't in my social circle, but he used to hang with my little cousins, so I would see the dude. You know what I'm saying? Often. And I remember I seen him by himself, and this was some months after the last little incident he had been involved in. Riding his bike, and I pull up on dude like, man, let me holler at you. And like I said, man, I knew something was going on with this dude, and I pull up. I'm like, what's wrong, man? Talk to me, man. What's going on? And he just, I could tell it was right on the tip of his tongue, like he wanted to come out, but just that quick, he shut it down. And this is what he was doing with mostly everyone. And okay, so fast forward, the dude catch a case. I mean, now he in serious trouble. He in juvie now. Robbed somebody, him and some other dudes, and told his therapist, what the real situation was. And that was that his he had an older cousin who was also in the church. Dude was in the church faithfully every Sunday. Matter of fact, actually, he was a well-known member of the choir. And I'm going to leave it at that. And so you got to be careful, man. People wear masks. They be wolves in sheep's clothing. So it turns out that his older cousin, who was probably 10 years his senior at least. I think dude was in his early 30s. But anyway, woo-woo. Come to find out, dude was sexually molesting him from the time he was probably in grade school. I don't know the full details, but I know it began before dude got to junior high. So by the time get to junior high, he can no longer internalize the shit he dealing with and and that was his way of exiling those demons, I guess, and the different feelings and guilt and humiliation, just all the things you would feel, as a young child that's dealing with this situation and not knowing who you could go to, who you could talk to. So we internalize it and start acting out in different ways. Long story short, this dude now, last I heard, was in prison. He killed someone. You know what I'm saying? And there's nobody that can't convince me that that all stemmed from the sexual abuse that he suffered from a family member, somebody he trusted, man. Somebody his people trusted. Because nobody could speak a bad word against this dude, but when everything came to light, and there still was, some conflict as to whether or not, but at the end of the day, I don't believe dude made all this shit up, and nobody else believe it either. Sometimes them truths be hard to face. So the point being, like I said, his family was in the church, stayed in church, kept little dude in church, but they could not protect him. And the whole point of this being, man, if you got people you're responsible for or family, and all of a sudden they just have a behavioral change out the blue, they start doing things that's totally out the norm, it's probably something that they are dealing with on a deep level. You know what I'm saying? Kids don't just, puberty situations like, kids can't cop attitudes, and one summer they one way, the next, when kids start going through. But if it's a total flip-flop in behavior. You got a kid that's quiet, or you know what I'm saying? Now, sometimes good kids just do go bad. But most often, man, a lot of kids be dealing with, and when I was locked up, you would be surprised how many stories, because a lot of dudes don't be wanting to tell nobody this shit. They don't want no one in the family to know. They don't want that stigma attached to them. So they will get around people that they don't know in prison or whatnot, and then they release that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's therapeutic in that way. So you'd be surprised, man, how many killers that I've known that had suffered some sexual abuse or physical abuse in their childhood. And when you just internalizing all of that, and you feel like you would start hating the world, man. You would develop this hatred, this rage, because you feel like also the people around you let you down. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes, like, people don't be knowing what's going on. Sometimes people do be knowing what's going on. And the family and shit gets swept under the rug. I know plenty of women who have suffered sexual abuse at the hands of a family member. And other family members know about it. And it gets swept under the rug. You know what I'm saying? And people carry this trauma, for the rest of their life. And it affects you the rest of your life on some level. Some people deal with it better than others. But, the whole point being, man, we can't get so caught up in everyday life and the struggle and the grind and, the different objectives and goals we trying to accomplish and kind of let shit slip under the cracks with our kids, man, and our loved ones. Because, a lot of times, man, people, like I said, they don't know who to go to with this stuff. And you just got to watch for real subtle signs, man. People who are usually open and, have a bubbly, happy personality, and all of a sudden you just see a total contrast in behavior. Don't always assume it's just an attitude or, puberty. A lot of times it'd be other things going on beneath the surface, man. So be careful, man, because all family for sure, all family can be trusted. And a lot of times in these sexual abuse cases, where young people involved, oftentimes, I would say in the high 80% percentile, it's a family member. 216 Skano, you already know.